Hello, hello, welcome back to my shed. It's me, Livesey Lovesit. I am going to be going through my team selection. I'm going to go through my how I performed last week and what I am thinking about for this week. But in all honesty, I've had a few ideas in my head of what I'm going to be doing, sort of like what I thought I was going to be doing at the beginning of the week. But am I set on that? No, I'm not. So there'll be a little bit of discovery, I think, and maybe a few polls as we go through, which may or may not help you. Hopefully it does. But did your week last week start a bit like this? Wildcard or roll? FPL Doodles, his work, link in the description below to follow him on Twitter. But for me, that was not the case. I was fully happy with my team going into last week. I was that happy I rolled a transfer. Let's go and have a look and see how my week went. That wasn't me. This is me. Livesey Lovesit FC. Let's make this, let's zoom in a bit so we just go full screen. There we go. That's the one. That's a bit better, isn't it? So, as we can see, in goal I had Kepa with 6 points. Happy with that. Everson was my backup keeper. I don't have the luxury of Ward. I had Ben White. Very happy to get 7 points off Ben White. He's been, he's done okay-ish for me. Trippier with 1 point. Good news about Trippier. Lots of people own him, so wasn't a major thing for me there. Gabriel's an interesting one, actually, because I brought Gabriel in for Luke Shaw. game week 23. And to be honest with you, the following, I think game week 23, Shaw went on to get 12 points. And I was really disappointed. It was a very last minute. If those of you who were on the stream remember, he was a very last minute choice and actually ended up on my bench. Luckily, he was subbed in as the week came on, and he came on for me, so it was worthwhile, the transfer in the end. It turns out, this many weeks later, Gabriel has actually got 3 more points than what Luke Shaw has got in that same time period. So, in the end, I've been happy with it, but he is on the way out for Luke Shaw, game week 29 at the very latest. We'll see what I decided to do this week. Into midfield, again, Rashford 2 points, no biggie there, everyone's got him. Lots of people struggled this week. Mitoma, lovely little cheeky differential there with 13 points. Salah, a differential there as well, 21 points. Happy to have kept him on board because I was debating it. I am debating it again this week, I've got to be honest, where he goes, but we'll come to that in a bit. We're still looking at last week. And then basically blanks all round, apart from Haaland, who got a cheeky little assist and managed to get a small return on my captaincy this week. But he's struggling. Did I leave any points on my bench? Just the one from Greenwood. Not the end of the world. Happy there. Is there any chance of the games this week being postponed due to snow? Right, if I tell you this morning the snow was probably this deep. Let me try and line that up for you. Probably, yeah, a good... How many inches is that? Probably a good 3-4 inches. 10 centimetres to those of you who don't know what inches are this morning. Girls were out there playing snowball fights, clearing it off my car. I've just looked outside now, it's gone. Pretty much gone. I'm on the Wirral, so I'm close to Merseyside, so I would say there's not much chance of the games in this part of the world being called off. I don't think there's much more snow forecast, more rain, sleet. I don't think so. I fully expect the Everton game to go ahead, but can't say your name. Yow 11 T-Mac 1. I do hear that Brighton Leeds may be a doubt, but we've got an 11 o'clock deadline tomorrow. So what I will say is my transfer thoughts I share today, nothing will be happening until tomorrow based on that Brighton game, because let's go and have a look and see what my team looks like for this week. My bus team. That, by the way, took my rank up massive. I'm now 1.7 million. So, if you go back, let's just go and have a look and see leagues. Very happy to say as you can see, since the World Cup has finished, I'm ranking 251k, this old second chance league here, which is quite nice actually, because I tanked it completely before, but now I'm 1.723. I've climbed 3 million places since game week 17, and let's see where we can head up. That's always been the aim since this started, for this season so far. So I'm doing, I hate to say it, because the minute you think you're doing well in this game, it comes back to bite you, doesn't it? But I'm doing all right. Yeah, I'm doing all right so far. Right. By the way, team selection, if you want to send your team in, you can send it to me let me just close that down. Let's go to my profile. You can send it to me if you're in the league, of course. You can just let me know, and I'll just go straight to the league and have a look. And if you're not in the league, code is in the description below and link. Please do that. Subscribe, but yeah, send it to me, FPL Livesey Lovesit, and I shall bring your team up at the end, and we can ask the audience, viewers, and myself, anybody who's got any ideas about what you can do for your team. But hopefully, as we go through the stream, this is what I've, let's pin it to the top. We're going to look at team performance. Going to go to the projected points, see what's going on there. Any transfer trends, see what people are bringing in. I've got an exciting one. Do remind me if I forget, FPL team. I've been using to put my team in and maybe look at the weeks ahead in terms of how many I've got for double game weeks, etc. They store and share their information of people's planned transfers for the future games. So we'll have a look at that. They've been added also to my FPL toolkit, which is below in the description. We'll have a look at the fixtures, watch list update. I'm going to do that live. I'm going to do that with you this time. I thought rather than sit doing it all on my own, I'll get a bit of feedback and we'll decide together as where players should be moved up in terms of ranking order for Livesey Lovesit Blue Hearts. Captaincy options, we'll run a poll on that as well. And then my team selection, what my transfer is going to be. Any questions and answers, tend to do those as we go along and look at the comments as we see them. I can see I'm jumping a little bit, and I do apologise for that. I'm going to have a little sip of my brew. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe because I've got Canva opened. Let me close that down for now. Because I think more apps open, it just messes everything up. So let me close those down and let's hopefully that makes a bit of difference. And I'll open it up for the watch list when it's time. Right. So team selection. Where were we? Pick team. So this is my team for this week. And I'm seeing Odegaard yellow flagged. But I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Let's have a look. Illness. 75% chance of playing. Okay, what's going on with Odegaard? What's going on with Odegaard? That's quite important. That's quite important because this is my bust team. This is the team I set at the beginning of last week. I don't have many Brighton or Brentford, but I do have 2 transfers in the bank, seeing as I rolled last week. Double Arsenal at the back up against Fulham away. Tarkowski as my first sub and Trippier, hopefully a return because it's not been great for him, has it? Look, 4 game weeks with no return. So if anything, the man's due. But he does to get an attacking return. Unless he's scoring the goal, he's all about the more about the assists, as you can see here. And bonus points, 5 assists to 1 goal. And bonus, we need his team playing better, don't we? Look at that, they've not won for 5 game weeks, Newcastle. Is it time to say goodbye to Kieran Trippier? What do we think? Let's have that as a first poll. Start a poll. Trippier. So, sell or hold? Quite straightforward one. Ask the community. Off we go. There we go. Get your votes in. Trippier, sell or hold? Let's go and have a look at some of his performance, because this isn't a I'm telling you this is what to do type stream. If you're new to the streams, this is me talking about what I'm going to be doing, offering my opinion and sharing yours. Form 1.3. If he wasn't so highly owned, what is his ownership right now? 64%. Top owned defender still. How's he been performing? Has he been unlucky? Let's have a look. Let's go to the Fantasy Football Hub. And we'll have a look at the stats for defenders. Let's take all these out. Let's just look at defenders. Let's change it to defending stats. In fact, no, I want to see his attacker returns. We know the clean sheets have been rubbish. Let's keep on key stats for defenders. So expected assists. See, he's still topping the league. Let's go. How far's this game week range? Right, we don't want all of it. I'm going to go post World Cup. That's 9 weeks to have a look at. Hello, Alex. How you doing, mate? Sorry, Mr. Big Nose. Do you prefer Big Nose Monkey or Alex? You let me know, mate. Right, expected assists. Still, Trippier tops the chart, 5.4. So basically, his team are playing rubbish around him. Expected goals. Who comes next, though? So we've got Alexander-Arnold next. Robertson, then Shaw. Zinchenko. Estupinian. Tete, Tarkovsky. What about for the last 6 weeks? Let's go 21 to 26 because I think it's inclusive. Expected assists. And we've got Trent at the top. Followed by Trippier, followed by Shaw, followed by Zinchenko. Matt Rooney, welcome to the stream. How you doing, mate? You've got to keep Trippier, mate. Yeah, looking at these stats, I tend to agree with you, to be fair. His returns are coming, aren't they? Returns are coming. Expected goals, which defender? Senesi? Dawson? Shaw? Emerson? Tarkovsky? Kilman? Ayling? Gabriel? Come on, I've got you my team. I'm waiting for the goal before I sell him. I want that goal return from Gabriel. We all know he's got it in him. I want that return before I sell him for Luke Shaw. You keep Trippier as well. Should have gone for Gakpo. You should have, mate. Evie did recommend him as a differential a couple of weeks ago. To be fair, you were told. By the way, I have given up sugar this week in an attempt to improve my overall health. Yeah, I've given up the sugar, so I am on coffee, no sugar. Which is getting nicer, shall we say, by the cup. It's taken me a couple of days to get it off on coffee, but tea I was able to do straight away. And I like a fruity brew now and then as well. One last week for Gabriel, I agree. Yeah, I think so, mate. The only thing is if I go for Estupinian, possibly, I've got Ben White as well. But up against Fulham away, I'm expecting Arsenal to rip them a new one, shall we say. Family show. Right, let's go back to my team. So, right, let's have a look at the poll for keep Kieran Trippier or hold. Let's end the poll now. If you haven't voted, get your vote in now. Give it 10 seconds before I end the poll. It was after it was recommended. Okay, mate, no worries. Excuse me. How do you think your Fulham team are going to do against Arsenal this week, Monkey Man? And what do we know about Odegaard? We're going to go and research that in a minute. But I think I'm pretty sad. I mean, they're good fixtures, aren't they, to be fair? I'm concerned about Brentford's fixtures. I know everyone's gone for Tony. I'm concerned about not owning them as well. I know everyone's gone for Tony, but I am. They're both away. I think Everton keep a clean sheet this week at home to Brentford, to be honest with you. There's signs of it. Evertonian, for anyone who's not watching, so maybe slightly biased. But I can see a clean sheet this week for Everton, in which case that means Tony ain't scoring. Excuse me while I suck on my puffer. This is next on the give up list, by the way. Fulham are poor without Palhinha. I think that's why everybody targeted Brentford players last week, to be honest with you. Because without Palhinha, he's not back then, mate. Odegaard in this may be out. Have they had the press conference yet, Matt? Is that where you've got it from? Solly Mark's captain thoughts. Right, well, we'll do a captaincy poll shortly. I think it's a punt, to be honest with you. I think, for me, if you go in double game week players, Mitoma, if you've got Mitoma, over March, but he could, I think it's a flip of a coin which Brighton midfielder does best over this game week. Mitoma, McAllister, March, could be any one of them. Could be any one of them that does best. I'm currently still on Haaland. I'm currently still on Haaland for captaincy. You bet, but still, mate, don't be too hard on yourself because you're 11th in our league, yeah, and you're still doing well. You're much higher up than I am. Let's put it that way. I wish I could be where you are. Doesn't do well for your channel when you're 1.7 million. Okay, don't switch off now. I've gained 3 million places since the World Cup. Yeah, doing all right. 250k in the second chance league. Rashford against Southampton. I'm happy with that fixture. And this is how I'm looking at it. Leicester, Mitoma, Salah, Odegaard. It's a may play. But I may well strengthen my bench this week, so that might be okay. Right, let's end this poll for Trippier, sell or hold. I said 20 seconds. And we've ended up with Trippier, hold. 85% of people saying hold Trippier. Now, can anybody tell me why? I think he's due a return. Looking at those results, to be honest with you. Well, we're gonna run a captaincy poll. Right, let's get the captaincy poll on the go. It's a bit ahead of schedule, but there's a couple of questions about it. So, throw in your names for captaincy this week. And we'll run this one for a good 10 minutes or so. I'm not rushing on this stream. This is a much longer one. Captaincy. So, I'm going to go with the obvious. I'm going to go with, we can rerun this in a few moments. I'm going to put Tony in. I'm going to put Mitoma. pdvlbm is my league code. It is in the description with the link. Yow11, T-Mac 1, Maguire. Mate, come on. You're supposed to be me mate on this, you. You're supposed to be stitching me up with Maguire. That's somebody else's stream. Yeah? Somebody who likes to talk a lot. So I've got Tony Mitoma. I'm going to put Haaland in there because I think he is an option. Although Kane's an option as well, isn't he? Up against Forest. Tony Mitoma, Haaland, March. Let's start with that. Anybody wants to throw any more suggestions in there? Once this one's run for a bit, we can take one or two, the lowest two out, throw a couple of other suggestions in there, say if they trump it or not. Salah up against Bournemouth away. Mate, there's some shouts out there, isn't there? Although Liverpool have not been great away, but they are on fire. He's now leading goal scorer above Robbie Fowler. Does he get back-to-back major hauls like that, though? You playing your wild card this week? Okay, mate. Have you got a team at the moment? Send it in. I'll have a look at that later. Right, let's get that captaincy poll underway. I've gone for Tony, Mitoma, Haaland, and March. So let me know your thoughts there. Haaland and Kane finished my team off. I'm happy with all of these fixtures. Salah away to Bournemouth. Fernandez. Question is, is there more points available from other players in the double game week? And I've got 2 transfers. Right, let's go to the transfer page, shall we? What I'll do is I shall make this slightly smaller so we get the bit up on the side where we can go looking at players. Here we go. Right. So as you can see, 2 free transfers, 0.1 in the back. Why aren't the comments coming up on screen? Let me just refresh it. Just noticed that. Do apologise, not sure why. Comments should come up now. Do someone post a comment? Let's see if they come up. Oh, there we go. All there for us to see. Oh, I can scroll up and down on those comments on the screen. I never knew that. Learning as we go. Learning as we go. Happy days. Sorry about that, guys and gals. So let me drag this over a little bit so I can see it a bit better. Let's have a look then. So, Odegaard illness. Right, I need to go and read about that. Sorry if this is a bit boring. But let's go and find out about the Odegaard injury. See what the latest news on that is. Anybody's got any news other than it's an illness, that'd be great. 8 hours ago. Football London. 2 hours ago. Evening Standard. Let's have a look. See what they're saying here. Illness has impacted. Is that it? Is that it? Gabriel Jesus, Trossard, Odegaard. Difficult week for the Arsenal captain, so I'm feeling well in the build-up to the Europa League trip before he flies to Portugal, having recovered somewhat. That proved to be a false dawn, and he was once again under the weather to miss Thursday's game. But Odegaard is back on the mend and expected to play against Fulham. Okay, that's the Evening Standard. Let's go and have a look at the Premier Injuries website, see if there's anything different there. Part of my toolkit. Potential return 19th of March. Accept the cookies. And Eddie Nketiah's still out. Oh no, it's the 12th tomorrow. Could be this weekend. Could be back at the weekend. Illness, late fitness test. So it's nothing major. And I don't think we're going to hear any more. Has the press conference been for Arsenal yet, or is that this afternoon? I imagine this afternoon if they're playing Sunday, which it looks like they are. So it's a wait and see. This is why I'm holding on with my transfers and doing nothing just yet. But let me show you what my original transfer thoughts were going into this week after the deadline, before sort of any games were played. I was thinking of basically, basically to bring Tony in, I was going to sell Fernandez, if I remember rightly, so replacements. Let's have a look for March. Add player, and then I can go Greenwood to Tony. The only thing is then, who do I rest on the bench? Maybe it's Odegaard with his illness. Which just feels wrong resting Odegaard, because I know he's due a massive haul. In my mind, he's due a massive haul. I mean, maybe I can't afford Tony now. Let's have a look. Don't forget, if you want to send your teams in, you can. Send them to FPL Livesey Lovesit, and if you're part of the league, then I can just go and have a look at them. And we can ask the community. Get your votes in on the poll, by the way, for captaincy. Why can't I see Tony? Spelt it wrong? That's because that says midfielders. Duh. There we go. Tony, 7.8. Add player. Yeah, it leaves me 1.1 in the bank. So that was my transfer thoughts going into this game week. I really don't want to lose Fernandez, though. That's part of the problem. But then I look and I think I don't want to lose Salah now. He seems to be on, he's on fire, and he's just smashed it. I'm not worried about next week. I'm thinking of free hitting. And those were my thoughts. And then I suppose it's Odegaard for the bench with an away fixture at Fulham and possible illness. Might be slightly not as prolific as usual. How did Arsenal and Fulham get on earlier in the season? 2-1 win at home. 10 points scored against them. Got a goal. I'm assuming he got some bonus points as well there. 3 bonus. That's the bonus column, isn't it? Yeah, so full bonus and no Paulina. Maybe he gets a rest after he's been ill. Just joined the league. Nice one. Yow. Is that how I say it? Am I saying that right? Yow. Matt Rooney, I would go McAllister if I owned him. Playing number 10, constantly in the box and on all dead balls. It's on the penalties as well. Maybe we're overlooking him. Let's go and have a look and see. Let's come out of this. Okay. Let's go and have a look at the Brighton and Brentford midfielders. Excuse me. Don't know if the mic picked that up or not. Let's go Brighton. Let's hide the low minutes players. Last 6 weeks. It's a good shout, isn't it? So, expected goals. McAllister, you're right, he's right up there. It's 3.05. He's only had 1 goal, and that was a penalty, so maybe he is still due. I sent you the team now. I think, okay, mate, I shall have a look shortly. Expected assists. Who tops that? That's March. Who tops the expected assists? Where's Matoma? What about expected overall? I'll tell you what, we make this small. We get a few extra stats, actually. There we go. Right, so expected. Can you see that? It's not the best, is it? Can I make it slightly wider? Can that make it a bit better? We've only got a few lines. Working on the hop here, boys and girls. Let's make it slightly bigger again. Still got the same stats. They all still there. Right, yeah, that's a little bit better to see, isn't it? So who's got the top for expected goal involvement? March, then McAllister, and Matoma right down at the bottom, 2.1%. That's interesting, isn't it? Who's had the most points in that time? Matoma at 38. See, the XG is not always the one, is it? I like to use XG, to be honest with you. I like to find players with XG that's high who haven't returned. And hopefully they're due to return, you know, they're in form, basically. So, expected goal at March. And McAllister right up there. Bonus points, Matoma, that's where he's been getting. He's had 8 bonus points in that time. March is the cheapest at 5.1. Shots on target, that's interesting. McAllister's had more shots on target and inside the box. Had 5 big chances. The higher expected goals. You could be right, mate. You could be right. 5.4 is an extra 0.3, but I've got the money. I've got the funds for that. Got the funds for that. Let's go and see how the... let's make this a bit small again. Let's make this a bit more... There we go. User sort of friendly. You're saying it correct. Okay, thanks, Yao. I see the team. You'd go McAllister if I owned. Right, let's have a look at the captaincy poll. Okay, well, McAllister's not in this captaincy poll, is he? Interestingly, Matoma currently tops the captaincy poll out of Tony, Haaland and March. But those 3 are all on the same percentage. So if you haven't voted, do a vote now, because I could do with one of these dropping lower so I can eliminate one and run another poll on it. Oh, I'm missing that sugar. Still tastes all right, to be fair. Tastes all right. So yeah, maybe this should be McAllister. But I really almost, if I'm going to be totally honest, I don't want to get rid of Bruno Fernandes. I want him for game week 29. I've probably got some... I went early on him as well. I've probably got some money tied up in him. More difficult to get back. So yeah, I'm in a bit of a quandary this week. What to do? Do I sell Kane? But then he's got Forest up at home. Let's go back to the pick team. I'm quite happy with all of those fixtures for all of my players. I almost feel like I'm forcing the players in. I've got no plans to use my wild card yet. That's probably more likely for the run-in around about game week 32, 33. Let's go and have a look at the blanks. No double in 29. Yeah, but I've only just got him. Maybe you're right, mate. Maybe you're right. I have only just got him, though. Maybe I should run a poll on this. Right, let's end this captaincy poll that we've got so far. Let's have a look and see what people have said. So we went with Matoma, Tony, Haaland and March. And Matoma tops the poll at 42%, Tony at 28%, and then Haaland and March on 14%. So that's really interesting. Right, let's go and have a look on FPL Team. I was just talking about this with you before. I really like this website. Planning ahead. This is my current team, game week 27. Let's go and have a look at game week 28. This is the blank. I've currently got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players not playing. But Tarkovsky comes in, so that's 4. I can obviously make a choice. Greenwood, so that'll be 3 because he could well end up as Tony this game week. Let's have a look at 29, the double game week. See, I've got, as it stands right now, and I've got, what, 4 transfers to make between now and then. I've got Fernandes, Salah, Matoma, Rashford, Trippier and Kepa. I've certainly planned to have Luke Shaw in by this point. This is the latest I'll be bringing him in. And I would, to be honest with you, quite like Martinelli back in my team. Is that wrong? Salah played the week before. Obviously, Salah doesn't play next week, but then he's got a double, but it's Man City and Chelsea away. Maybe it's Salah I should be selling. Maybe it's Salah. Take the points and run. That's what I did in game week 1. Who's he got the week after? Arsenal at home. Whereas Odegaard's got Leeds, Crystal Palace, Fulham. Maybe I should be set. Oh, who's Fernandes got? Southampton, Newcastle, Brentford. There's a double. Into game week 30 still. I'm not. The problem is at the moment I'm not totally unhappy with my team. I really don't want to rip it apart for a double game week. So yeah, team selection. I don't really know what I'm going to do at this moment in time, other than try to bring in some players. But who'd you sacrifice? Did you take out Haaland against Crystal Palace away? I don't think so. Kane against Nottingham Forest at home? No. United, after the 7-0 drubbing last week, will be looking to return to the Premier League and, you know, get a positive result at home in front of their own fans. Southampton. So I'm actually inclined to offload Mo Salah, to be honest with you. If you're free hitting 28, then Odegaard is the one to go. I suppose I need to decide if I'm going to free hit 28. Right, let's go back to FPL team. Let's go back to this and see how it looks. Let's go with these transfers. Let's try Salah out for... let's just go Mark. I think I might actually go McAllister, seeing as he's on pens, to be honest with you. On dead balls. Expected goals high, and the only one he's had is a penalty, so let's go with that there. And I'm thinking, let's go Greenwood to Tony. Okay. Let's create draft. Enter draft name. What are we on? 27. Create draft. Okay, so brand new draft here. Let's do this some subarage. I think it's going to be that, isn't it? Odegaard as first sub. And the other thing I was thinking, actually, I might not even do that, was to bring Steele in goal for Everson, and then that sets me up for double game week if I was to bench boost. So many choices and things and like permutations at this moment in time to consider. Hopefully I'm not boring the pants off everybody. I suppose if I do, then people just leave. At the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. So that was my 2 transfers this week. How does that leave me next week? See, they're on a blank. Brighton on a blank next week. So it's even more free hit territory. Whereas Salah plays next week. Let's have a look and see what how that leaves me. Let's bring him in. For Haaland. Is Haaland a short-term sell? That's the other thing. Odegaard for McAllister. Bueno, just in case he's back from his injury. Fernandez. So I'm only missing 2 players with that transfer, but if I was to go, let's go back to game week 27. Put Salah back in. Let's put him back to Greenwood. Is there a reset? Reset game week. So that's my game week as it stands. That's my team. I'm thinking I could go, because I've got 0.1 in the bank unless he's gone up in price. No, still 3.9. And it looks, looking at the comments, he looks nailed, doesn't he? To be honest. Where is he? Where's he gone in? Transfer. STE. Oh. So he would come in for this week. And then I've got no money left in the bank. I'm light on the double game week players. But I'm not massively, got to be honest, I'm probably one of the only people out there not massively convinced on Tony's double game week credentials this game week. I'm really not. So I've still got one transfer to make there. Next game week. I see Salah does blank in 28. So that makes no difference. I think if I'm selling midfield this week, it's going to be Salah. Do I need to free hit next week, though? That's the question. I'm missing 1, 2, 3 players. But I'll have 2 transfers available to me here. But maybe I just wait till next week and then I go Salah to someone. Greenwood to Tony next week, ready for the double game week. Okay, let's see this then. So maybe be a crazy one. If I just go for steal this game week, would be a very different thing to be doing, wouldn't it? So if I was looking at double game week for 29, let's go and have a look at the fixtures. You think Steele's a decent shout? It does seem made for the foreseeable. I agree, Matt. I agree. When I've read the comments from the Zerbi, the fact he plays with his feet seems to suit him a little bit more. But he's a disciple of of our good friend Pep Guardiola, isn't he? So he's going to want him to play with his feet. Makes sense, to be honest. Ooh, let's make that bigger. So 29. That's fixtures. We're looking at Brighton, Arsenal, Leicester, Chelsea are on a double. This Liverpool, Villa. We're all looking Brighton, aren't we? Bournemouth and Brentford. Leicester. Maybe this is the time for Jimmy Maddison, game week 29. And up against Brentford, although it's away, game week 28. Actually, you're probably going to think I'm nuts. This is what I think I might do. Wrong one. Where we are? FPL team. I think I might just go, look, let's go back a week. I think I might just go to steal this game week, you know. I really do. Because I'm happy with everybody else. I've improved my goalkeeping situation. Everybody else has got a good fixture. Sometimes you can just do too... I tend to do too much. That's what I tend to do. So game week 28. Come on, I'm going to take Salah out. I'm going to keep it for one more week. This is what I think I'm going to do. And then I think I'm going to move to... Saka. Okay. Or Martinelli, but the fact I'm selling Salah gives me some funds to mess about with. I see Greenwood's got that fixture. That's annoying, isn't it? But he doesn't play, so we can transfer him out for Ivan Toney. Late to the party. And there I have only one player blanking. No need to use the free hit. And I've sold Salah, who wasn't like massively. Don't think I need to keep him, to be honest with you. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. And that's too many players selected from Arsenal. Oh, bugger. Time for Jimmy Maddison, maybe. It's got a couple of good fixtures. So we go with James Maddison. Are they doubling that week? Leicester. Yeah, Villa, Crystal Palace. Now let's just save this, update draft. And then when we go, I've got 0.9 in the bank. And then when we go to double game week 29, let's change these around. Actually, that's my bench boost team, isn't it? With a transfer, we've got 0.9 in the bank. I'm not going to captain Tarkovsky. But yeah, I've got a bench boost team now, haven't I? Let's just see. Let's put the subs back on the bench and see if it is. See, I'm struggling to choose here. Okay. Why doesn't it let me substitute? There we go. Obviously, this is weeks away. Anything can happen between now and then. I'll have one transfer this game week. And 1.1 and 0.9 in the bank, so I can go Bueno to quite a lot of players, actually. Estupinian. Again, late to the party. But he's got a double, hasn't he? Who else has got doubles this week? Let's have a look at the defensive, from an defensive point of view. Game week 29. Chelsea. West Ham. 2 home games. Maybe. Forest. Leicester. Leeds. Brighton, Bournemouth and Brentford. I think it's Brighton, isn't it? Maybe over to Shah, possibly. But plenty of time to decide who that could be. I reckon I'm getting quite boring now. Let's just put Estupinian in for now. Just as a placeholder, and that actually looks like a fairly decent bench boost to go for. And I've still got my free hit intact, and I've still got my wild card intact. Let's update the draft. You think Aston Villa defenders should be looked at more? Okay, mate. Anyone in particular? In terms of the next 6 game weeks, according to this website, 9th for defensive stats against their opposition. West Ham away, Bournemouth at home, Leicester, Chelsea. The double game weeks are both games are away. Then Forest and Newcastle at home, and then Brentford. Maybe game week 30 is a good time to go for them. When will you use your free hit and wild card though, mate? Not many good opportunities later. I think my wild card around about. Let's go and have a look at the blank and double game weeks. Let's go on to Twitter and see. There's your team there. I'll have a look at that in a minute, Monkey. I haven't forgotten, mate. Let's look for Mr. Krellin. There he is. Let's have a look at the latest tracker that he puts together. It's got to be here somewhere. Come on, Ben. Where is it? Here we are. So I'm likely to use, what have we got here? Blank, likely blank game week. White, unlikely with black writing. What does orange write? Very likely. So there's going to be some blanks here in game week 32 with Man United, Man City, who I have players from. I'm going to have Brighton by the looks of it. So I think my free hit could well be that week to stop me from having to change things around. And then wild card, I just think, to be honest, I'm happy with my team. It's got me from tweet on Twitter so we can send team. Yeah, send your team to me. No problem. I'll have a look at that now for you. I think game week 34 plus. So got a double game week here. This may be a good time to attack the final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game weeks with a wild card. We'll have better information about whether these are going to be doubles or not closer to the time. So I think, yeah, free hit will probably go in game week 32 because I won't be wanting to get rid of Man United and City players at this moment in time. Matoma, I want to keep hold of it. I want to keep my team. It's done me well since the World Cup. And yeah, I'm just going to hope that continues. You have Twitter, yes, mate. Just on it now. How you doing, Manish? Welcome to the stream, mate. So yeah, I think free hit 32, wildcard 34 as it stands, which is crazy because my first wildcard went in game week 1. Couldn't hold it, but right now I just don't want to. You know, I just keep. If you look at my team, how it's been performing. Game week history, you can see since the World Cup, I was at end of game week 16. I was at 4.7 million, but since then I've slowly had a bit of a lull here where I've sort of stabilised, but then I've climbed again last week thanks to Salah, and hopefully that will continue. Hopefully that will continue. Team value's gone down though because I've been more patient. My Twitter, right? Let's go and have a look at some of the. So those are my thoughts. That's my plan. I think as it stands, I'm going to update my draft and save that because I think that's quite a good plan. Bench boost in game week 29 when all the doubles are on, and obviously I can go anybody, and that would leave me with 0 in the bank. Wow. Might not be able to do those transfers, but we shall see. So yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's that. Right, let's go and have a look at your stuff. I've got a message here. Who's this one? My good friend Alex. So you're on a wild card this week, mate. Is that right? You said that, didn't you? And Manish is on a wild card as well. Let's have a look then. What do people think? Have you got a plan to get Haaland back? That would be my first question. Because if he bangs, he's coming to get you in terms of your rank. I see you've got Watkins on the bench against West Ham. Is this with? You're on a wild card, and does this give you plenty of play. Well, for game week 28, what's your plan? Because Brighton aren't playing in 28. Salah's not playing in 28. I'd argue. Oh, imagine you've got Raya. So triple Brentford, triple Brighton. Could be the attack, mate. Could really be the attack, to be honest. They've got 5 games, haven't they, in the next 3 game weeks? You're getting Haaland back, yeah, cool. Okay. Well, mate, I can't argue with that at all. Watkins has been... The only thing I'd say with Watkins is he's been looking dangerous and he has returned really well. We mentioned him on the stream weeks ago, actually. And then he, you know, he was on the watch list, wasn't he? It's just whether he can keep that going. A goal a game, which is what he's been getting. That'd be my only sort of thing there. You're talking about Aston Villa defence. You've got Mings in there. I can see why you think that. You've obviously done your research on that one. Transferring Salah out in the blank, okay. And that's your funds. I'd take it to bring back in Haaland in game week 29, mate. Lovely, lovely. But Brentford got a game in 28. They have, haven't they? Yeah. So Brentford have got a game. Brighton haven't. United, City haven't. But Brentford have. Yeah, I like it, mate. I think Kane's got a fantastic... I do think Haaland's fixture is a good one against Palace. But he does blank next game week, and if you're not free hitting, then or you've not got enough players, then he's just another one that's not going to be able to make it. I'm assuming Villa will be playing next week. So what you've got 1, 2, Newcastle play next week, don't they? Otherwise, I would have seen it on my one. Game week 28, yeah. So Newcastle playing. They've got Forest away. Yes, mate. Happy days. Do you need 2 4.5, 4.6, whatever they are, 4.7, 4.8 goalkeepers? Could one of those be? You can't have Steele, can you? But what about Forster, possibly at Spurs? 3.9, or you're looking ahead to the double game week with this as well, mate? But no, yeah, I like that team, mate. That's... those are my only questions for you. Double Villa. Maybe. Who's your bench? Who's just... Is this your main starting 11, I take it? And these are your bench players? Depending on game weeks, obviously. What does anybody else think about this team? What would you do different to it? Me and WC Guy has the same team but different players. Okay, let's have a look. Manish, I'm assuming, is this you, Manish? Notification here. Yes, mate. What do you reckon, Paul? Mel Stars. Zinchenko, Botman and Martinelli on the bench. Again, you've got the same Brentford and Brighton players. Am I missing a trick here? Should I be going all out for these players? Is anybody else? I've got to be honest, I don't think, in terms of attacking, and I said it earlier in the stream, I think Southampton away and Everton away, both fighting relegation, against the team who've had 12 games, is it now, undefeated. They've got a loss on the way, and it'll certainly be one of these. Hopefully, fingers crossed, my mighty Everton. Not so mighty at the minute. But I just don't... The second double for Brighton, much better. But this one, I just don't think it's a rip your team up type of selection for them. Even though Everton and Southampton are right down in the relegation zone. Southampton have, clawed themselves back and given them a chance of survival, to be honest with you. And Everton are, dare I say it, improving under Sean Dyche. That's what I think. You're not sure about Kepa? I just don't like to have money at this moment tied up on 2 4.5 goalkeepers. I think you need one first choice, or it's just going to be one of those. I always find I choose the wrong one when you've got when you've got rotational things. That's my only thing, but everybody else is doing it. Doesn't mean it's right. Everybody else, lots of people wildcarded last week, and that wasn't right either. So, my opinion is, I don't think Brentford players are as good this week. They may be better in defence, to be fair. Everton not prolific in front of goal, although they did manage to get two goals against Nottingham Forest. So maybe that is coming. I'm just not so sure on the attack. But Kane, Haaland, I think they're great players. Rashford, obviously you've got to have Rashford. Matoma and March. Again, it's a toss of the coin almost, but we did look earlier. McAllister's XG in the last few game weeks higher than either of these two players. And the one goal he did score was a penalty. He's had more shots on target as well. I think it was 8 to March's Matoma's and March's roughly 5. It's a tough one because on a wild card you're now left with 5 Brighton and Brent. That's half your team. Over half of your team taken up with Brighton and Brentford players. And I just think there's possibly better teams out there. Short term gain, but as long as you've got a plan for replacing some of them along the way, I think that's okay. I think it does well for the next three game weeks anyway. That seems similar, same as I said to my good friend Mr. Monkey. Thanks, Mel Stars. I'm assuming that's you, Manish. Yow, I have double game week Jensen on field and Martinelli on bench number 1, but thinking about starting Martinelli if Odegaard doesn't play. Do you agree? Well, I don't think we're going to know about Odegaard till the time. Martinelli is looking hot, to be honest with you. He is, isn't he? It's a tough one, mate. But Martinelli is looking hot. But I don't think you can leave Odegaard on the bench because Odegaard he's due. And I know it's a funny old term, but probability he's played well all season. I think he starts. And I know he got an assist here. But he's due one of these big bad boys. He's not had one for a while. A couple of 8s. Up against Fulham, Crystal Palace, Leeds. He's got good fixtures. That's right. I don't want to take any of these players out. Right. Harry Travo, howdy. Hello, brother. Hope you're well now. Dropped your message. Check whenever you want to. No rush. Thank you very much, sir. Was it a message regarding your top 3 picks? Planning to do a stream in the morning. Let's have a look. Was it on? I won't bring up it up on the main screen. Yeah, our top 3 picks. So I'll share these with anyone who's watching now. Interestingly, because we've talked about some of these players. Harry Travo contributes on a weekly basis along with Al Swiffen. They're top scoring players for defender, midfield and forward. So it's not. He's literally just sent me the message. So it's obviously not in a nice slide, but I shall aim to have that for tomorrow morning's stream. So we've got Purvis Estupinian. The defender as the highest scoring defender this game week. Midfielder Alexi McAllister. So if that helps you make your choice, then like which midfielder to go for, then I think that's a good shout, to be honest with you. And Ivan Toney up front. What do we think, Gary Travo? Just been asking. I think Ivan Toney's got a couple of tough fixtures. I'm not sure he gets as big a return. I think Kane can outscore him this week, personally. My Twitter manage is FPL Livesey Lovesit. There I am, at Livesey Lovesit. By all means, do send in, as somebody else sent me someone in. So those are Harry Travo's top 3 picks for this game week. But I'll put those in a slide and I'll put them with Al. Harry Travo, you're now top ranking in our league as well for all-time rank. Suddenly gone up to 15,000 somehow. But yeah. Nicely done there. What was I going to look at? Let's go and have a look at some of the projected points for this game week and for the next few. I think the next 3 game weeks are quite apt actually. Can we go to 29? 29. Let's have a look at the next 3 game weeks. See, Tony gets it for the next 3 game weeks. Followed by Kane. Look at those crushed heads there. It's amusing, isn't it? So we reduce it slightly. There we go. So, the next 3 game weeks, Tony, Kane. It's not going to be João Felix, is it? Surely not. March, Trippier, James, McAllister, Matoma, and Buemo, and then Rashford. So, over the next 3 game weeks, these are highest predicted points. Maybe I should push the boat out to get Tony in sooner. What about this game week? Just one. Let's look at just game week 27. This is captaincy selections as well. See, Tony hits the top at 11.8. So that's exactly the same as what my mate Harry Travo's saying. Tony's the safest option in my opinion. Most will captain either him or a Brighton midfield because they have a double game week. I agree with you. Kane could easily outscore in this game week and Rashford can as well. Okay, mate. Interesting. Yeah, the safe option. Tony, Kane, March, McAllister. These are there or thereabouts. This is just 1 game week. Matoma, and Buemo, Salah, Sanchez, Rashford, Veltman. No Haaland. Interestingly. Where does Haaland feature? Further down. Estupinian, Ward-Prowse. Have I missed him? Wow. Let's put Haaland in. Predicted points 6.3 this game week. Obviously, we know that can be like 2 because he doesn't get anything, or could be 22. Do you know what I mean? With such a player. For the next 6 game weeks, though, Kane, Tony, Rashford, Salah, Fernandes, Maddison. None of the Brighton players over 6 game weeks. Only Tony is the Brentford player. The only Brentford player for the next 6 game weeks. So I'd just be careful on your wild card of having 3 of each, I think. Maybe choose your favourite 2 from each team. Because you don't want to be stuck with them. You don't want to be stuck with them. Oh yeah, look, we can go game week 30 onwards. And none of them feature. Tony down here, 4.7 for 3 game weeks. Is that because he's in the nick? So interesting stuff. Obviously, it's just a prediction. It's based on, like, you know, stats, how they've been performing, odds and all that sort of thing. Whatever, however Fantasy Football Hub put their statage together, basically. Thanks for sending those, Harry Travo. To be honest, I just want to play it safe this game week and go Tony. Still think he gets a return at least. Yeah, oh, mate, I think he'll get a return in one of them, one of the games, but that's it. And I think it'll be Southampton because I see a clean sheet at Everton. I really do. For Everton this game week. But I'm an Evertonian, so show game week 28 predicted. Okay, mate, will do. Oh, can only go 28 to 29. Oh no, game week 28 to 28. Happy days. So during that game week then, which is a massive blank, you've got Kane currently, Watkins, happy with that, Mr. Monkey, Tony, Felix, great player, but he's just not doing it, is he? It's not for me at this moment in time. Reece James, back in the mix, as long as he doesn't stay injured. Odegaard. Who is it against? Game week 28. Crystal Palace at home. And then Leeds. Wilson, Trippier. Saka, Kulusevski, Iheanacho, Maddison, Zinchenko. So these are the highest predicted points for that game week. So we want some of these in our team, unless you're free hitting that game week. Iheanacho, £6.2 million forward. Could be a good option for next game week. Leicester should have had 5. Brighton have a lot of doubles incoming. Depends who they're against though as well, doesn't it, mate? But yeah, we all like double game weeks. We all like double game weeks. What does it say on the fixtures here? Brentford have got the attacking fixtures for the next game weeks, followed by Leicester, Leeds, Villa, Chester. I live near Chester. Chelsea, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Man United, Brighton, all the way down here for six weeks. Probably because they've got a blank, but they've got 2 doubles in there. But then they've got, after that, Tottenham away, Tottenham, Chelsea, Man City at home. So you want to be planning, I would say, to be offing your Brighton assets, maybe except for one, you know, by the end of sort of 29-30, really. Is Tony currently on 8 or 9 yellows? I think it's 8. I think he escaped one last week, didn't he? Yeah. I'll show you my wildcard draft now. You're 95% locked in. Guys, you're very lucky to get to see this. You're very lucky. Let me see if it's where it's come through on. Like I say, if you haven't seen before, I shall show you here, right now. Mini League Analyzer. And if you're not a member of the league, then please do join. Who Really Loves It League, and we can find out if you really love it, because the mug is still up for grabs anywhere in the world, as long as you've got a postal address, of course. And I click go, we click go. That's not the league. 22382. I want that one. Oh, it is. Message just come through. Harry Travo. Oh, he uses a different site, planfpl.com. Right. How am I going to bring this up? Let me... can I download it? Save as. Give me a few minutes for this. But as you can see here, top of our best all-time rank, and this is based over a number of seasons, Harry Travo Audi. So hold the fort to see Harry Travo's wildcard. I'm interested. Has he gone all in Brighton and Brentford? Let's have a look. I'm just downloading it to my desktop. You will have to give me a moment. Oh, I love things like this. Let me close down this cheeky little window here. Just need to add this source, add an image. It's not going to have a little cheeky border around it, obviously. Image file. I'm just talking through what I'm doing now to make it sound interesting. Here we go. Harry Travo, Audi's 90 to 95% locked in team. As we can see, triple Brighton, yes. McAllister, Mitoma, Estupinian, and triple Brentford as well. Captain on Tony, Henry, Raya, Trippier in the back, Rashford, Saka, Salah. Did you get his points last week? And then Kane up top. Another abandonment of Haaland. Wow. Unthinkable earlier in the season. Unthinkable. But on the bench, Watkins, Chilwell. Yeah, he looked good midweek, didn't he? And Zinchenko. So, double Arsenal, Saka and Zinchenko. A Chelsea defender. Got some good fixtures coming up. Doubled up with Kepa on the bench, who does have a double game week in 29. So, that'll be good. Chilwell will come in for that, I'm assuming, as well. No Luke Shaw. Obviously, he's got a blank next game week. There you go. So maybe it's just me overthinking it. This triple Brighton and triple Brentford. Maybe I've got it all wrong. Maybe I'll hit the wild. I can't see me hitting the wildcard button. Let's go back to my team. I can't see me hitting the wildcard button before tomorrow, because I just like these fixtures. More likely to be next game week, to be honest with you. But we should attack. I don't know. I think you just got to have the fixtures. You've got to be confident in the fixtures to take players out your team that you're happy with. Let's look at this in list view. Don't do this very often. Oh, we can't rank it by form. See, Trippier was the one I talked about right at the very beginning of the stream, and everyone says no, you need to hold. Everyone voted hold him. I think it was like 83%. If we go right back to that, in case you weren't here for that, should I hold or sell Trippier? 85% hold, 14% said sell. I don't know how that. That's not maths, is it? Gabriel's the one I'm looking to move on for Luke Shaw for game week 29, maybe. Haaland's form 5.2. He's got better form than Kane. But then Kane's got a nice fixture this week against Forest. So I'm not totally unhappy with any of these players, really. I get attached to them when they do well. That's the problem. That's the problem. Anyway, I'm going to finish the stream up here now, because I've been going for, it was only going to be 20 minutes or so. I've been going for a good hour or so now. Thank you to everybody who's joined. This is my team as it stands. I haven't done my transfers yet. I'm going to do those tomorrow. I'm looking at bringing in, possibly, might sell Odegaard or Salah this week. I'm bringing March. I can sell Odegaard for March. I'm bringing. So I can. Anyway, yeah. I might bring in a Brighton midfielder. I might sell Fernandes. That was it. I might sell Fernandes, although we're fixed against Southampton. I really don't want to. For McAllister stroke March. I think McAllister, if I'm going to be totally honest, and I'm just looking over at Harry Travo, he's saying the same. I've still got Harry Travo's picture up on screen, haven't I? Thanks for that, mate. Much appreciated. That's my team. Yeah, I'm thinking I might sell Fernandes for McAllister and then sell Greenwood for Tony, is what I'm thinking at this moment in time. Right, guys, that's it. Or just go for Steele, as per my plan and discussion on FPL team. Right, that's it, guys. My head's mashed about what I'm going to go and do. Might see you later tonight. You never know. Possibly not, but definitely I've already booked it in with the missus, as long as this wrist doesn't get worse. It seems to have got better as the stream's gone on, to be honest with you. Thank you for all the lovely messages from everybody last week. And I'll see you before the deadline. Breakfast show. I'll get on nice and early. 8 o'clock-ish, I'd imagine, GMT tomorrow morning. Thanks for everyone that's joined. Do give me a like before you leave. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, now, yeah, right here, right now, is the time to do so. Thank you very much. Take it easy. See you later.